Right, so here we go. We do with opening puja. The words are there in front of you on your screen. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinnadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majjapama dattana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now let us prepare ourselves for a short meditation. Sit down as comfortably as you can. You can sit back on your chair in a comfortable way. Post your feet on the ground comfortably. Your palms together or on your laps in a comfortable, balanced way. Balance is important. Make sure your body weight goes straight down into the ground. So balance. That way you won't get tired so quickly. Now, for some of you, you may hear noise, sounds around you. So during the meditation, just smile at the sound. Show your loving kindness to the sound. It's very wonderful to be able to hear people. And simply note them as sounds. Just note the sounds, then let them go. We say in meditation, leave the sound at the ear or at the ear door. After a while, you find the sounds will go into the background. Just focus on your breathing. Relax breathing, don't force your breath. Normal, easy breathing. Your breath will take care of itself. Long breath, short breath, deep breath, shallow breath. Just let it be. All you do is watch. You watch the breath, like watching a baby sleeping, or watching the child playing. You just watch. In the first stage, we count the breaths. Breathe in, out, 1. In, out, 2. In, out, 3. In, out, 4. In, out, 5. 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5. Or if you like, you can count up to 10. See which one works better for you. Don't count less than 5, too short. Don't count more than 10, it's too big. You can choose any number between 5 and 10 and stay with that number as much as possible. If you lose count or forget, doesn't matter. Counting is just to help push away immediate distractions. So if you forget numbers, start with 1 again. Breathe in, breathe out. Count, smile. Don't forget to smile. Meditate happily. It's easier to focus when you are happy. Focus your mind on your breath. As your breath comes in, goes out. Just count the breaths. In, out 1, in, out 2, in, out 3, in, out 4, in, out 5. 1 to 5, 1 to 5. Breathe in, breathe out, count, and then smile. Smile in your heart. Whenever your mind wanders away, just go back. Bring it back to the breath. You know you're breathing. Focus on the knowing. Now, some people may not like counting. Sometimes counting may not work for some people. That's all right, quite normal. About half the number may find counting is not helpful. In that case, you can start straight away with stage 2, in out stage. When the breath comes in, note it as in. When the breath goes out, note it as out. In, out, smile. In, out, smile. Feel the peacefulness of your breath. Now, as you watch your breath, you can feel your breath slowing down. If you can't, it's okay. When you do it on your own, find a quiet time, a quiet place. It can be in the open, also nature. When you sit quietly long enough, you may notice the breath slowing down, and you also notice the space between the breaths widening. The space gets bigger, more peaceful. This may sometimes take a bit of time, so be patient on your own. Once you notice the space growing, you are ready for stage 3. Stage 3 is called space. Breathe in, notice the peaceful space. Then breathe out, note out. In, space, out, space. You may not get everything now. It's all right. This is your instructions for you to remember and practice on your own. On your own, you can sit 5 minutes or a little longer, up to you. Start short and slowly extend the time as comfortably as you can. Smile at the space. Smile at the peaceful space in between the breath. Now, if you do this properly and you sit long enough, you'll find the space becoming much longer. The space is not always regular, they're not consistent, sometimes long, sometimes short, but just feel the peace. After a while, this space, this peace can be very pervasive, then you know the stillness is there, you can feel it. That is the fourth stage, silence. So in the fourth stage, we don't say anything at all because it is so peaceful. So you can feel it. Remember, stage 1, stage 2, you have to make some effort. Stage 1, stage 2 are called directed meditation. Directed meditation. Stage 3 and 4 are undirected meditation. Undirected, it means they will arise by themselves. When you do stage 2 well, stage 3 will arise. The space will arise. So just let the space lengthen by itself. You can't force it. So your practice is to let it be so peaceful. Just let the space arise. It's like watering the plants, weeding it, taking care of it, and let the plant grow by itself. So those are the 4 stages, remember them. You can start with just stage 1, stage 2 if you like. You can do just one stage at a time if you have difficulties. Then slowly add the other stages. Increase the time, let it be natural. And slowly over time, you find you get better. There's no rush. This is a lifelong practice. Do it as often as you can, especially in a peaceful space. When you go to a very nice, peaceful place, safe place, have the time to do your meditation. Before we end, we review our practice. Review, that means you see, recall any peaceful moments, joyful moments. Even for a split second, you felt good. Remember that. That's your window to peace. This will help you in your future practice. Or if you have difficulties, then make a note of them too. Then in the future, you can prepare yourselves to avoid those difficulties or lessen them, prevent them. So that's a review. Now at home, if you have a nice quiet corner or little room, you can use it, especially for meditation. Nothing else but meditation. So when you go to this space, you feel very peaceful, very good. You can sit facing the wall or with your back to the wall, leaning against the wall. It's up to you. You can do it before a shrine, if you like, small shrine. But keep it all simple. Now before we end, we do what's called just sitting. We open our eyes, just sit quietly for a couple of minutes to come back to this world for our sutta study. So this is called just sitting. We begin our meditation slowly, gently. We end it also slowly, gently. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us now begin our class, our talk. Now let's see, I have to share. I just click share right now.
Yes.
Okay. All right, then I click PowerPoint. Okay, can you see the slides?
Yes, very good.
Okay, good. Okay, now, I'm very happy to see you all from various parts of the world. It's good that you can make it. Right? Now, this series is called Training for the Path, TP 2021. And we focus on the path, that is the Eightfold Path, the path of practice. The word path has many meanings in Buddhism. Basically, it means practice. And practice here refers to the three trainings: the training in moral virtue, sila, sikha, the training in samadhi or mental training, if you like, in meditation, learning to focus the mind. Even if you can't meditate, it's okay. We practice mindfulness. So that's the second training. So both the first training, moral virtue, keeping precepts, and calming the mind, helps us to cultivate wisdom, which is the third training, wisdom. Right? So you have samadhi sikha and then panya sikha. So these three forms the path, the basic path, right? So and in this series, we also look at the various aspects of the path, what prevents us from getting to the path, who are the noble ones who reach the path, and how do we attain, how do we reach this path in this life itself? So for the rest of the year, we're going to look at these wonderful teachings. Your book for reading is SD 1016. SD 1016 is a special volume, Sutta Discovery volume on Eightfold Path. It's quite a thick one. You can easily download this from our Dhamma Series website. The address is found at the bottom of the page of the notes. Dhamma Series, dharmaseries.org. Okay. If you have difficulty getting this book, please message us. We will send it to you. Go to our Telegram, t.me/Sutta Sangha. I think all of you know that one. So you can get more information there. All right. So today is the third lesson. The title is the 10 Fetters and Renunciation. So these fetters are things that hold us back in the world, that tie us down to the world, prevent us from growing. Fetters are what holds a prisoner down, so this prisoner is not able to run around easily like a ball and chain. In China, you have this board where this person, like a pillory board, this person puts the head in the board and his arms in the board, okay, and he moves around with that. That also is a kind of fetter. So there are these 10 things that prevent us from awakening, from becoming a better person, basically. The practice to overcome the fetters, basically to become a better person. We can put it very simply, become a better person, happier person, is in one magic word. If you ask me what is one important word in terms of practice in Buddhism, that one word for practice is renunciation. You may think, wow, this is quite difficult. Not really, because you're already doing it by sitting here, by being with us here. You have renounced something. You have given up something. You have given up your time elsewhere. You have given up your comfort elsewhere. You have made a small sacrifice. This is all renunciation. So life is full of renunciation. From the time you're born, you renounce your mother's womb, the comfort and safety of your mother's womb. Because if you do not come out of that womb, you will not grow. So you have what is called growth, right? So in your mother's womb, you have biological growth. The moment you come out, then it's human growth. Then when you study Buddhism, there is spiritual growth. So we should be growing all the time. That is what being a Buddhist is about. Now the question is, what do we renounce first? What are those things we have to give up? I often joke, I say the first thing we should give up is to throw away our rubbish, right? I mean, some people may say, isn't it obvious? Well, it's not quite obvious. You find sometimes we leave our rubbish piling up and smelly and then all this. Then we start blaming the cockroaches and the raccoons and so on. I mean, we are at fault because we didn't clear the rubbish. So that's the starting point of renunciation. Whenever you see a rubbish dump, remember, renunciation. You throw away your rubbish first, okay? And there are lots of other things which are rubbish, like wrong views, anger, hatred, negative emotions. All these are rubbish. Refuse to be thrown away, right? We should refuse them. Okay, they are mental refuse. We should refuse them. Get rid of them. Okay, so that's another very simple aspect of renunciation. So let's start. What do we renounce? Okay, we start with the body. Remember in the first lesson, we talked about body and mind, and now we go on to a summary of the 5 aggregates. More or less what the body and mind are. So the Pali word for body is kaya. Kaya is a general word, more on the physical side. Rupa is more psychological. Rupa is coming to Malay also. It means form. So you can use either word for the body. But in Buddhist terms, in Buddhist psychology, the body comprises 2 things. There is the physical body and speech also. Okay? Body and speech go together, constituting body. Now you notice on the left side, there's the word 3 doors, dwara. In fact, the word door comes from dwara. In Sanskrit, the last vowel is dropped, become dwar. Dwar sounds like door, okay? So the 3 doors are body, speech, and mind. We'll come to mind in a moment, okay? So we have to learn to control our body, that means body and speech first. Now, how do we do this? By working with the mind, okay? So you find the mind is behind our actions, behind our speech. So this is the 3rd door, right? These are the 3 doors, body, speech, and mind. Okay, the 3 doors of action from which karma arises. We create 3 kinds of karma. Bodily karma, when we break the first 3 precepts, any of the first 3 precepts, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, those are bad bodily karma. Then when we lie or we don't speak peacefully or kindly, then that's the bad speech karma. bad speech karma. That's the second group of karma arising from the speech door. Then there is the mental door, the mind door. When you think something bad against someone, and then you've created bad karma to the thoughts. Right. So we're going to find out how we're going to deal with this today. Okay. So I'm going step by step here. Now, when we speak of the mind, there are many words for mind in Buddhism. So the most common word is chitta. Chitta is mind generally. Chitta means variegated, complex, very detailed, like in very beautiful, ornate carvings. Chitra, Sanskrit. Okay. Another word for mind is nama. This is the psychological term nama, the mind which experiences things. So chitta or nama. There are other words like mano and so on. Wow. Then you can see mano at the bottom. Mano is when the mind experiences things. Okay. So there you are, the three doors: body, speech, and mind. We have to guard our body and speech through the precepts. We may think something negative, but as long as we don't act it out through our body or through speech, to that extent, we have kept the precepts. So the precepts telling us, don't let it out, don't let the cat out of the bag. You can't always stop your thinking, but the mind is very powerful, but you can prevent the mind from acting out through the body or speech, right? So that's how the three doors karma work. Okay. So here you are. You can see where the body is concerned among the five aggregates. It is form. Okay, it comes under form. Right? Then the mind comprises four of the other aggregates. So the five aggregates is a special formula that is heavy on the mind side. Okay, so the mind, you have consciousness, feeling, perception, formations. Of course, in the traditional formula, consciousness is put last. But in this diagram, I put consciousness first. You will find out why in a while as we go through the diagram. So what is the mind comprised of? What makes up the mind? First of all, we are conscious, right? And consciousness is part of the mind's function. Then there is feeling. We feel. Not just hot and cold. Here, feeling refers to what's called hedonic tone. It refers to whether we like or not like something, and then why we like or not like it, right? And that is because of perception, how we perceive things, meaning how we recognize something. Recognize, that means we recognize. Consciousness cognizes things. Very simply put, knows things. The eye knows colors and forms. The ears know sounds. The nose knows smell, and so on. Okay, so cognize or knowing. Perception uses this information, right? So whatever we experience now depends on our past experience. So if we meet someone in the past, we have very good experience with this person. When we meet this person again, we're very happy because we remember in the past this person was nice. But if we had a bad experience with that person, even if this person is nice this time, we will not too happy to meet him because of our perception. We perceive him as someone nasty in the past. We tend to work like that. Okay, so that's called perception. We recognize this person from the past. Of course, this creates problem. You know, when we always look at people in the past and you find you don't really know them, you don't know who they are now. They may have changed. You see. So we're going to talk about all this in due course. Okay, that's why it's good to attend this course. Yeah? Then you have formation, sankhara. Okay, formation refers to karma, how you create karma. So when you recognize something and you say, I don't like this person, you get angry, okay, you created karma already. But if you hold it back, you don't think negative things about this person, you say, oh, okay, this person was not too kind to me in the past, but I'm just going to, let this person have metta, have my loving kindness, and let this person be well and happy, and I'm just going to walk away. So that is good karma. So that's how you form good karma. That's what they call formations. So basically, that's how your mind works, right? So of course, if you are wondering, what did I say? All right, so you can play back this video and watch it. This is the good thing about the video. And then you have these wonderful slides prepared by Ratna to look at again. So there you are. This is on what do we renounce? We renounce the body or bodily action. Like in the first precepts, you renounce killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. That is, you let go of the body aspect. Then the fourth precept, you let go of lying. That is speech aspect. Right? Now the last one is taking drinks and addictive drugs and so on. So that is letting go of negative habits that may trouble our mind, cloud up our mind, so that we can't meditate, we can't even be mindful. So we let go of the negative aspects of the three laws. That is what we renounce to begin with. Okay, so now you have the notes here, SD 48.1 appendix. Okay, so this is where you can get all this further information. You have all these notes with you, so you can look up in your own time. Now, what is it that troubles us with all these three doors? You see? Because underneath all these three doors, there was called the three unwholesome roots. Akusala Mula. You look up SD 4.14, section 1. There's more information on this. These are your special references. You can look up on your own. So we have two kinds of roots. This is another way of looking at karma. You look at a little deeper. We spoke of the three doors of karma just now: body, speech, and mind. And how does karma act on the three doors? There are two kinds of karma, bad and good. Bad karma is called unwholesome, and they are rooted in unwholesomeness. So that's why they're called unwholesome roots. In Pali, akusala mula. Akusala means not good, unwholesome. Mula, root, means roots. Some of you may know in Malay, mula means to start. Okay, but in Pali, mula means roots. Okay, the start of the plant. Now, on the other hand, you have wholesome roots, kusala mula. So kusala means wholesome. It's not just good; it is wholesome. Especially, it helps our mind to focus. Kusala mula. So these are the good karma, bad karma, if you like. Right? So we can also say akusala karma, kusala karma. We can also speak in that way. So here, the first set, okay? If you look on the negative column here, kusala, the first common problem we face in terms of creating bad karma is greed, lust, desire. We want this, we want that, even though we don't need it. And when we get it, we're not happy with it. We want some more, something like that. Okay? So basically, it starts with greed. All right. This is a general idea of not knowing when to stop. If you're hungry and you want food, that's natural. Okay. So the problem is when you do not know when to stop, and that's greed. Okay. So if you want something nice and you buy something nice to eat and you enjoy it, and then you stop when you feel full or just before feeling full, then it's no problem. So greed in Pali is lobha. Okay. So if you notice there is greed, then you have to cultivate non-greed, the opposite of it, alobha. You see, in Buddhist teachings, the Buddha often use what is called apophatic language, negative language. Know this, know that. So 5 precepts are apophatic morality, if you like, negative morality. Don't do 5 things. So in a way, it's quite easy. You say, don't do 5 things. It's just like when you're on the road driving, most of the signs will be negative. Don't turn left, no turn right, and so on. You have that kind of warning telling you. So here, the positive aspect of greed is non-greed. And of course, it's called alobha in Pali. And if you want to talk about it in positive terms, you can say you practice charity, right? So if you find you keep wanting things, you learn to give away things, practice charity. And then notice that the renunciation is there, right? So renunciation comes again, reminding us to let go of things, especially those things we don't need. We start there. And keep it that way. So we are detached in that way. in a good sense. Detached doesn't mean we don't have feelings. It simply means we don't want negative feelings. We let go of things which are negative, things which are really bad, and we can't do anything about it at the moment. So let's just leave it aside. KID, so to speak. Keep in view. Now, the opposite of greed, of course, is hate. Usually when there's greed, there's also hate. They go together. If you like something, there's something you don't like. And that creates problems. So they kind of go back and forth. They're two sides of the same coin. So this is where, if you notice there's something you don't like, you have to find out why. And in doing so, you are building up non-hate. In understanding the nature of hate, you build up non-hate. Hate here is dosa. It's very interesting here. You see this word dosa in Malay, the meaning has changed, become more intense. It means actually something bad. Right? Even what in other religions they use the word sin. We don't use that word in Buddhism. But here different. It's different. Dosa simply means hate, anger. Anger is another word, but it's the root of anger here. So if you notice you have hate, then you tell yourself, I have to cultivate non-hate, adosa, right? And that is loving kindness. Loving kindness means embracing others just as they are, accepting others just as they are, starting from there. Okay? I want to be well and happy. Others also want to be well and happy. Let's start there, something like that. Okay? Then the third one is the most difficult of the three roots, delusion. We don't even know we have it. We see things the wrong way. So this is moha, delusion. Delusion is even more tricky than ignorance. Ignorance, we don't know something. But delusion, we don't even know, we don't know that we don't know. Okay? We don't even know, we don't know this fact that we do not know, right? So delusion makes us see the wrong thing, gives us wrong ideas. So we have to practice non-delusion, which is not easy, but we are doing just that by listening to the suttas. So here, that's why the Buddha's teaching is very useful. The Buddha's teaching teaches us to get rid of delusion by cultivating non-delusion, amoha. And the positive words for that, for amoha, is wisdom. Wisdom means you know something and you know how to use this knowledge to bring happiness and peace and joy and success to yourself and to others too, to live happily, basically. So these are the three roots, the three unwholesome roots, which we should cut down, even remove, and three wholesome roots to cultivate. In a simple way, by cultivating the wholesome roots, we reduce the unwholesome or negative roots. Okay, now we come to this very interesting diagram. It's called the Iceberg Diagram. I drew this diagram many, many years ago. This diagram talks about shows us the three aspects of our mind, our consciousness, basically. When we talk about icebergs, I'm sure one of the first things we think about is we only see the tip, a little bit of the tip, then 7/8 of it is hidden under the water. So the water represents our the hidden mind. So the tip is the conscious aspect which people see, but the rest hidden. People do not see. We also do not see it. So we're going to look at what's called the pre-conscious and karma. So on the conscious level, that is the top level here, you can see body and speech. Rupas or sankhara. Yeah? Speech is vacha, by the way. So our body can be seen by others, and body language can be seen by others. So people who are wise and experienced, they can, if we are wise and experienced, we can read body language. We know people are sad or happy, or sick or healthy. And of course, we communicate with speech, right? So this is the social open aspect above the waterline. People can see this. And this is called the conscious aspect, yeah? Okay. vijnana, consciousness. So this public aspect we can control through moral virtue, as I mentioned earlier. The precepts prevent us from conducting ourselves the wrong way socially, right? So the precept has to do with social behavior, positive social behavior, so that the good society, a healthy society, a productive society is possible, that other people can live happily just as we do, and we can benefit from each other, right? So this is our consciousness on the public level that can be seen. Then below this waterline, you can see there's thoughts, okay? Chitta, or thought. So this thought is going on even right now as you're listening to me, the thoughts going on in your mind. So you can see here, the greed, hate, delusion are there, hiding down there. But right now, for most of you, if not all of you, there is the positive aspect. Right? You have non-greed, non-hate, non-delusion inside you, because you have recited the precepts and you're sitting peacefully here listening to the Dhamma. There's no reason for you to show any greed or any hate, and you're building up your wisdom. So this is a good karma you're building now. So this is the pre-conscious. That means before conscious. Pre means before. This is also chitta. This is your private mind. Only you know it. Usually you know it. Okay. Sometimes we are not aware of this also, but we can. For example, now that I'm talking about it, you know it. You say, oh yeah, I'm thinking about this. Yeah. So you know this thought. Before you act, there is this mind telling you, do this, do that, or don't do this, don't do that. So that's the pre-conscious mind. The mind that talks to you, nobody else knows, nobody else hears. It's a private mind. And this is the one that sometimes make you do bad things. So this is where you strengthen your precept through your meditation by building up, by clearing up the negative aspects in the pre-conscious. So that's where greed, hate, delusion works. So we want to clear away these three roots. When we practice loving kindness, that we overcome quite a lot of these negative roots. When we practice breath meditation, we're more aware of what's going on, then we don't allow it to arise, right? So that's how meditation helps to cut down this greed, hate, delusion and build up the positive aspect, charity, loving kindness, and wisdom. So this is the pre-conscious level that we got to watch. When we say watch your act, this is what we mean. And those of you who have attended that Ambalatika Rahulo Vada Sutra, the Buddha talks a lot about how to prevent bad action, and then how to watch it while we're doing it, right? And then reflect on it after it has happened. So this is all clearing up our pre-conscious to make sure it is positive, that we are strong mentally. So this is our pre-conscious. So this is understood by concentration. So when you do some meditation, you understand the meditation, you begin to notice your mind, and then you listen to the talks about the mind, you listen to the suttas, then your concentration becomes better. So this, in order to understand your pre-conscious, or very simply put, to understand your mind better, how you think, you cultivate concentration, samadhi. So the general meaning of samadhi is concentration. There are deeper meanings which you won't go into at the moment. So in this case, even simple sitting like what you did today helps you to be in the present, to know your mind better, and therefore to be in charge, to prevent the three roots from arising, and to cultivate to prevent the three unwholesome roots from arising, and to cultivate the three wholesome roots. Then below this pre-conscious mind, you have something deeper, your unconscious mind. This is the real big troublemaker. We don't even know it's there. I call it the unconscious as a modern term. It describes the latent tendencies very well. Latent, that means they are there, sleeping, like a sleeping dog. But the moment you wake this dog up, it starts barking. And if it is leash, then at least it won't bite you, but there's a danger that it may break the leash and bite you, bite people. So this latent tendency is very deep inside our mind, so deep we don't even know it. These latent tendencies are there. And these latent tendencies, notice, they are actually a darker version of greed, hate, delusion. Greed, hate, delusion is on the pre-conscious level. We know they are there. We know we have greed. We know we have hate. We know we have delusion. To that extent, we are in charge. But we don't even know we have lust, ill will, ignorance. This is deep inside. From this deep, this lust, that is the latent tendency, it feeds greed. Then ill will, which is the latent tendency, it feeds hate in the pre-conscious. This ignorance is deep inside in the latent tendency, it feeds delusion. Where does these three roots come from? Past karma, from our past. From day one, we are born till now, how we are raised, the things we learn from others, from school and elsewhere, even from religion, from good teachers, from bad teachers. So these things are all kind of stored in our latent tendencies, the unconscious. Okay, think of it as something like past karma, okay? And it's hidden there. It's called unconscious because we do not know that it's there, and there's no way you can overcome this through to the precepts, because the precepts only deal with the body and speech. Meditation helps, but you got to really do good meditation. You got to become an arhat to overcome all these latent tendencies. So notice this is liberated through wisdom, panya. Okay? Later on, I will show you how these latent tendencies are overcome. But here, we got to deal with these two first. If you can work with refining your body and speech, that's very good to the precepts. Then you start refining your mind and you'll be happier. So this is the two steps we build up. This one, we got to do something else. And this is what this talk is about. What do we do? Now, there is something else we're talking about. So far, I've taught you the term conscious mind up here, which is public. Then you have the pre-conscious here, only you know it, no one else know it. Of course, other people who are wise may be able to reach you a bit, but mostly only you know it. And then you have the unconscious, very deep unconscious. Even you do not know it's there, and it is influencing you. It's the puppet master making you do things or don't do things. So you have conscious, pre-conscious, unconscious. Then you have subconscious. Okay, this subconscious is always there. Right now, it's there, but because you are active, you are awake, the subconscious is hidden away. You don't notice it. According to Abhidhamma, Buddhist psychology, when you're sleeping, for example, or when you faint, the subconscious is there, it takes over. So it keeps you alive, so to speak, right? So the subconscious, in simple terms, is rebirth consciousness. It's always there. It's like the current running through the wire. It's, whether you use it or not, there is this current. But when you connect the two ends, then you put a bulb, then you get light. And you connect it to a fan, then this propeller turns and so on. So this rebirth consciousness is like that. Think of it as something like your karmic genes. They can't be seen, see, but they are there. So this consciousness moves on from life to life. And from these genes come the unconscious and so on and so forth. They start all over again in every new life. So you have the subconscious here. So this is in very simple terms of what this psychology is about. So look at this diagram again and listen to this part of the tape if you find, wow, this is really interesting and still some parts you don't understand. Now we look at those people who reach the path, who are able to overcome the three negative roots, three unwholesome roots. They're called the four individuals. And to become these four noble individuals, or four saints, if you like, You have to overcome the 10 fetters. They're called the dasa sangyojana. Dasa means 10. Sangyojana. See this word yojana, yoj, y-o-j, yoj, same as yog, y-o-g, yoga. And in English, you have the word yoke, to be bonded, to be tied up. Okay? Sang here is same as, it's very much like English or rather Latin con or com, which strengthens the word. So sangyojana, right, is something that really binds you down, if you like, binds you in a strong way, fetter, okay? And there are 10 of them. Now, the most difficult one that we have to deal with are the first 3. So don't worry about all the 10. As Buddhists, we work with the first 3. That is the snake's head, if you like. So if you are able to catch the snake by the head, you are safe. You start from there. So they are called lower fetters because they keep us in this sense world, the world of the senses. Okay? We have a body. So we think, oh, I am my body, this is my body. I can do what I like with my body. We like to think like that. And we say, oh, how I look nice and so on. This is how I want to look. Right? I want to stretch my skin. I want to look nice and handsome and young and dye my hair and so on. So and we're very attached to our body. Already the small things I mentioned is nothing serious, but we go on to have wrong views. We think that, oh, this body will die when I die. This is how the materialists think. They think there's no soul. So, or if they think there's a soul, they think that this body and the soul are the same thing. This is one kind of self-identity view, that the body and the soul are the same. So, but what they believe is when the body dies, the soul also dies. See? So they have this kind of wrong view, but there's no reason for this kind of belief system. This is wrong belief. This is called Sakaya Ditti. Okay? Notice the word kaya is there, sakaya. Okay? And sa in front here can mean like self. That this body, my body, is this the self. Okay? The means view. So this is the first wrong view we've got to overcome. Basically, it means don't get attached to your body. Your body is such that it is made of parts and you have to take good care of it, right? Doctors like to say when some organs malfunction and then you fall sick, So you got to take care of your health so that your body functions, all the organs function properly through exercise, proper eating, enough rest, mentally and physically feeling happy, healthy. So as Buddhists, we take care of our health, right? Even the Buddha, exercises every day. He does walking twice a day, early morning and at dusk when the sun rises, just before sun rises, and around the time of sunset, he will do walking. So exercise is important, keeps our body healthy. But we don't identify with this body. We know this body as impermanent. We understand this body changes. That way we won't identify with the body. We respect the body and we learn to let go of the body in that sense. Okay. In other words, when we are sick, okay, that's the way of the body. The body falls sick, so we've got to see a doctor, take our medicine, stay healthy, and so on. Now, then the second thing is spiritual doubt. And there are some religions which tell you, oh, you cannot know anything, you are a sinner, too bad, you better listen to me, I will help you. So that's vichikicha. That is taking away all the good things that you naturally feel you have that you can do. So Buddhism is a very self-empowering teaching. The Buddha tells you can empower yourself. In fact, there's no other way. You are your own master. If you don't think that way, then who can be your master? If you let someone else be your master, wow, then you are a slave. So doubt, vichikicha, is not good, right? So this is a second fetter. Remember, this is a fetter. You have a doubt, it fetters you. It ties you down to be a prisoner of doubt, and you won't be able to grow. So to overcome doubt, we find out more about self-reliance. you become more self-reliant through meditation, for understanding your mind, be at peace with yourself. So those are some of the ways. Then number 3, the third factor is attachment to rituals and vows. Sila Bhatta Paramasa. Okay, this one there's a bit of confusion sometimes because the word sila, some people only think it has one meaning. Sila can mean moral conduct, yes, but here sila simply means ritual behavior, ritual conduct. Okay, then bhatta B here originally it is a V and it's joined in this way. The B liberalizes and becomes a B. So V in Indian language is pronounced like W, Vata. So Vata means vows, okay. Paramasa is to take it to extremes, to be attached to it and so on. So when we are attached, we have this extreme idea about views and rituals. We are going to have problems also. Here, the meaning is that by performing some kind of external activity, we can solve our problems. For example, we think that, oh, just by going to the Buddha image and bowing down and ask for money, we're going to get it. All right? Or worse, sometimes we hate someone and when we go to some deity and pray, or may this lightning strike this guy, and so on. So this is terrible, right? We are performing these very negative rituals, looking for answers externally, when the real problem is inside us. So what the significance of this third factor is to look within ourselves, where the problem starts, and from there, once we understand, then we correct the way of thinking or that memory or that wound, then we don't have to depend on something outside us. A popular term for this third factor is superstition. Superstition means believing that something outside us can influence what's inside us. For example, we think that, oh, walking under a ladder is bad luck and so on, things like that. It's very strange. I mean, it's common sense. Right? It's not safe to walk under a ladder, you see. So we have to kind of examine why do people think like that. So this is attachment to rituals and vows has to be understood and given up. So these are the 3 things we have to work to understand. And if we can do that, then we become stream winners. The stream winner has broken all these 3 factors. Of course, it's not easy, but we start building up now so that we can at least understand what it is like to be a stream winner, although we may not be one. Now, so this stream winner has broken these 3 factors. Then there's still these 3 unwholesome roots: greed, hate, delusion, if you remember, still there, lying quite strong. And if he works to do some mindfulness practice, meditation to overcome greed, hate, delusion, then he becomes what's called a one-saritana. One-saritana is someone his mind has a better control of his mind. So within one life, the next life, he is going to awaken as an arahant. Okay, so he has more control of his mind. Notice here the mind is very important in Buddhist training. Okay. Right. So now we talk about the next kind of noble individual or saint. It gets a little tricky after this. Don't worry, this is only the start. There are many more lessons to go right to the end of the year. I'm going to go into more details in the other sections. Today we're going to focus more on what we can do right now as we are. Okay, so here we're going a little deeper. How does a person overcome the other fetters? We have sensual lust and repulsion. They go together, 4 and 5. These are stronger versions of desire, what they call it, greed and hate. Essential lust and repulsion, they're kind of very similar, they're opposites. Kamaraga. Kamaraga especially refers to lust for the senses. Okay, so in the coming studies, I'm going to go into detail how the senses prevent us from being free from suffering. Then the opposite is patiga. Patiga is a kind of a repulsion, a kind of powerful hatred. All these two are overcome by the non-returner. Okay, so the non-returner overcomes all the 5 lower fetters. Why is it called 5 lower fetters? Because they bind us to the lower world, to the sense world. So it's called non-returner because it won't be reborn in the sense world anymore. Okay. Now we come to the Arahat. The Arahat overcomes all the 10 fetters. Okay, so you can see this is the Arahat. He overcomes lust for form existence, Rupa Raga, and lust for formless existence, Arupa Raga. Again, these two go together. This has to do with meditation, because jhana meditation can bring a person rebirth in the form world. Formless meditation brings rebirth to a person in the formless world. So you become form Brahmas or formless Brahmas, or Brahmas which are higher than the gods themselves. So some of these meditators think, wow, it's really wonderful to be reborn in the Brahma world. I have met, Buddhist, lay Buddhist, one of my close friends, he believed in Brahma, he believed people were talking to Brahma and so on. So you have this kind of beliefs. So the Arahat lets go of all this kind of belief. It lets go of conceit. Conceit, in other words, conceit also arises in the streamliner and the one returner, non-returner. We feel, oh, I'm better than others. Oh, I'm a Buddhist, I'm more peaceful. We have that kind of idea. It's not really bad, but it's still feeling that we're better than others. It's a kind of conceit, measuring others. Then there is restlessness. We feel uneasy. We see people not keeping the precepts, people breaking rules. We are worried about them. We say, oh dear, what's going to happen to them? And they do bad things. We see animals suffering, so we feel restless. So this happens in the non-returner, in the once returner, in the streamliner also. Okay? Imagine even in the non-returner you have restlessness, because this restlessness arises from compassion. We see people suffering, we don't feel comfortable. Okay? And of course, we still have ignorance. So the Arahat has overcome ignorance totally. Yes, he fully understands the nature of reality by way of the 4 noble truths. All this we will discuss later on in the later lessons in this series. Now we come back to basics. A very important thing we must know. Sometimes, often enough, we get some of these Buddhists or so-called Buddhists who reject the Buddha, who think that, oh, even the Buddha is not really fully awakened. He needs to be a Bodhisattva. And the Arahats are worse, they're not even awakened, things like that. It is a serious wrong view, right? So the important thing to know here is that both the Buddha and the Arahats have the same awakening. This is the clear statement in the Sambuddha Sutta, S22.58. You can read the translation with commentary in ST 49.10, right? So there you are. Remember this key teaching, the Buddha and the Arahats have the same awakening. The only difference is that the Buddha arises first in the world. He's like a parent. He gives birth to us. We only need one father, right? So there's only one Buddha. We don't need so many Buddhas. In one universe, there's only one Buddha. And the Arahats are those who follow the Buddha. The Buddha also is an Arahat. He's the first Arahat, and the others follow after him. All right, we come back to the 10 fetters. This time we look at it a little more from the psychological point of view. So we talked about the first 3 fetters, which we need to work with. We got to find out more about this. They're called lower fetters. They're also called internal fetters. Internal in the sense of inside you. or another easy way to understand, they are the cognitive fetters. They deal with the way we see things, the way we know things. Isn't that interesting? Right? Cognitive. For example, self-identity view is got to do with the way we see ourselves. Spiritual doubt, again, is the way we see ourselves. Spiritual doubt is we see ourselves as worthless, sinners, we see ourselves, we can't help ourselves. All this is not true, right? You can help yourself, right? By listening to this, by doing meditation, you are helping yourself. That's the place to begin. And then attachment to rituals and vows. So again, we are caught with this lack of understanding of ourselves, with insecurity. For example, people have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. They keep on doing the same thing over and over. That is extreme example of Siddhartha Paramaswara. But if you like to wash dishes, you enjoy washing dishes, it's not exactly OCD unless you take it as a joke. That's a good kind of habit. So it's something you don't know and you're caught up with it. Well, if you regularly do something and you're kind to people and you're happy, that's different. So here, these cognitive fetters, they deal with how we know things and how we think we know things, and then we get caught up in this rut and this cyclic behavior. So these three fetters are broken by the stream, just to remind you, and then the three unwholesome roots are further weakened by the once returner, and then on a deeper level, the non-returner totally overcomes central lust. It's no more attached to the body, and that means he has no hatred also. So that's the non-returner. These are the five lower fetters. They are called cognitive fetters. They have to do with understanding ourselves, with knowing ourselves. Then you have the higher fetters, and this broken by the Arahat, and the higher fetters are called existential fetters, because they have to do with our existence, our rebirth. We keep on being recycled. We are the ones who are recycled in this case. We keep coming back to this world, to the same place, so to speak. You know, there are a number of movies which show some people caught in a time loop, you know. They wake up in the morning and then they keep doing the same thing the whole day, and then they go to sleep and they wake up the next day, same thing. Only some minor details change. But samsara is this loop on the bigger scale. It's so big we don't even know it, but we keep going in a loop because of our karma. So these essential fetters, you have lust for form. We think that being reborn in a form world, in the Brahma world, the form Brahma and the higher formless existence are really great. You know, but we exist, we still exist, and since we exist, we will sooner or later suffer. There are sutras warning us that, you know, all this, even the very high devas and brahmas, when they die, they fall into suffering states, even down into hell again. And there is an ancient Indian game called Snakes and Ladders. You can see the snake's head goes right up to the top line near the end, and then you throw your dice and then you get a number, and then your token goes to a snake's head, and zap, you go down to square one again. So that's the Brahma. His karma has ended and he falls on the Brahma world, he goes down to hell. So it's like that. Unless you are at least a stream winner. If you're a stream winner, or you are one of those noble disciples who have attained understanding of your mind and existence, then you will not fall below the human stage. Okay, so there you are. These are the other of the 10 fetters, existential fetters. Okay, and notice the fetters 8, 9, 10. They are called fetters that obtain rebirth, right? Fetter 6 and 7 keep you going in certain realms, the form realm and the formless realm. The fetter 8, 9, 10, conceit, restlessness, ignorance, keep you caught in samsara. you are reborn again and again and again. Okay, so these are the 10 fetters, another way of looking at it. So you can see more details, ST 56.13a, 7.1.2.2. Okay, now we go to another point. We started this class by asking what do we renounce as, how do we renounce it? So we have 3 kinds of renunciation. We renounce the body, we renounce the mind, and by working with these two and knowing what's happening, we gain a wisdom of renunciation. That is a basic idea. Now let's look at the first part, renouncing the body. As I told you, when we renounce the body, we're talking about keeping the precepts. When you keep the precepts, you're practicing renunciation. So don't see the keeping the precepts as can't do this, can't do that, and it's restraining and boring and things. It's not like that. You're practicing what this Siddhartha did, the renunciation. You're renouncing killing. You're renouncing stealing. You're renouncing sexual misconduct. Right? You're renouncing negative aspects related to your body. That's called moral virtue. Okay? Through the 3 trainings, through moral virtue, you renounce negative aspects of your body. And this is, in detail, you can find more information through the moral virtue aspect of the Eightfold Path. Right, this is number 345. Right action, that refers to keeping the first 3 precepts. Right speech, the 4th precept. This is a very simple way of talking. Right livelihood is a kind of overall lifestyle, that our lifestyle does not hurt people. We are keeping the precepts and so on. We may, there's time, talk about right livelihood by itself in the future. So this is the Eightfold Path. We are walking the path. By keeping the precepts, you are walking the path of moral virtue. Then how do we renounce the mind? By understanding the nature of consciousness. There you are. See, we put consciousness first, vijnana, and then we understand the nature of feelings. We understand that when we like something, happy feelings will arise. We don't like something negative, unhappy feelings will arise. And when we are not sure what's going on, there is neutral feeling that also brings some suffering to us. So we understand all that. So when you understand that through meditation. In meditation, you notice all these things more clearly. That is why mental cultivation is very important. Even if you don't go into deep meditation, some simple mindfulness practice, sati, you can see how your mind works. So this is how you renounce your negative aspects of the mind. And this is in the Eightfold Path. You find this is the last 3, okay, 6, 7, 8. Limbs number 6, 7, 8, right? That means number 1, if you have not done any bad things, you don't smoke, you don't drink, then you don't do that. Okay, the action of non-action is very easy to do this one. Then the second right effort is if you have done something wrong, then you stop doing that right away. Okay, so these are the 2 negative aspects. The third right effort is if you've not done something good. Let's say you've not meditated before, or one of your friends has not come for Sutta class before. You say, hey, why don't you come? Right, so you encourage this person to cultivate, right, this good habit. So that's the third right effort, by doing something good you've not done before. Initiate it. And the fourth right effort is keep doing it. So there you are, 4 right efforts. Mindfulness is that's what right effort leads to. It makes you mindful. You strengthen your mind. You clear your mind. You don't drink so that the mind is clear. This is your best tool of wisdom, right? So that's mindfulness. And when you go deeper with mindfulness, you go into deep concentration where the mind is so powerful, it frees itself from the body. It's a simple way of looking at it. So when you renounce the negative aspects of the mind, this is what happens. The mind becomes clearer, frees itself from the body, and you gain great joy on that account. Now then, when we talk about wisdom of renunciation, we're talking about understanding what perception is, and we are in some way able to control our karma, deal with our karma. And by practicing loving kindness, we even weaken the effects of negative karma. If you have loving kindness, you find you are not likely to break precepts, for example. So this is the wisdom of renunciation. And this comes under the category of wisdom training, Panya Sikha. And here you have right view, right intention. So we've been talking about right view so far. The simple idea of right view is about understanding and accepting impermanence, if you like. The more detailed aspect are the Four Noble Truths. Right? So that's right view. And we should have right intention. That means we've got to tell ourselves, whatever I do should not harm myself, harm others, or harm the environment. So that's a simple way of looking at right intention. So this is the wisdom of renunciation. It brings us happiness because we have cleared away things we don't need, our house is clean, and we're living in a very happy, spacious environment. We're very happy with it. We're cleared away from negative things, negative people. So what happens when we renounce? Right, so this is where, how do we understand renunciation and how to accept it? So here is a reminder. Number one, we do not identify with our body or self. No narcissism, right? We let go of narcissism. No I first idea. I is important, yes. I mean, self-effort and so on, but we do not put the I first at the cost of our own development and at the unhappiness of others. We don't identify with our body or ourselves. We don't identify with anything because everything changes. We do not seek the truth outside of ourselves. Even as you listen to the Dhamma, what you're doing is you have come from your own free will, you're listening, and you're trying to understand yourself. So there's no superstition here. I'm not telling you I'm bringing good luck to you and I'm making all these good things for you. Not at all. You are doing it yourself, and you are the one seeking the truth within yourself. Number three, no doubt, overcoming doubt. I like this one because there's no doubt. That means sure. So this truth is sure. We are certain of impermanence as true reality. Nothing can challenge this. I mean, you can talk about God and say, I don't believe in God, and one can say you're wrong because you can't prove it. But impermanence is everywhere. Whether you have faith or you have wisdom, impermanence is there. You examine it, you accept it, then you just say, wow, this is great. I accept this. Then you can just say, I want to be a stream winner, because you qualify yourself to aspire as a stream winner because the stream winner accepts this impermanence. Just look at the Anikya Chakra Sutta. The Buddha says it so clearly and so simply. There's no doubt about this. You don't have to doubt impermanence. So what happens when you renounce? What kind of quality do you get? You get emotional independence. Apara pachaya. Pachaya means dependence. Para means others. Apara means not others. So you are independent of others. Want more details? Go to SD 3.3, section 4, the Chandala Sutta. Chandala means the outcast. A 5.175. Here, who is the really wonderful, ideal layman? The true layman, the Buddha calls white lotus follower. Upasaka Pundarika. See, the word here is Upasaka. It's not the Savaka, not a disciple, not a saint yet, but we are followers of the Buddha, the beautiful white lotus follower. He is one who has faith. Here, faith means we know we are going. We are happy that we are going this way. So we have faith in the Buddha as our teacher, the historical Buddha. We have faith in his teaching, it works for us, and then we know the great saints, the noble ones have practiced and they have attained arahathood. And we know that we, through understanding and accepting impermanence, we too can reach this path by our own effort. And on account of that, we keep moral virtue because it's good to do so. It makes us happy. It makes other people happy. And this is the foundation of our meditation. When you keep the precepts well, you can meditate better. And we don't need to believe in rituals, in luck, to perform some strange rituals so that we are lucky in this and lucky in that. If things work with luck, then we don't have to do anything. Right? So the people they just get lucky. If they're unlucky, too bad. And then people won't make an effort. They will steal. They say, "Oh, I'm lucky today. I managed to steal a lot of money," and someone else suffers. So that's not the way a true Buddhist thinks. So we rely on karma. In other words, our actions have results, and we're going to act with wholesome mind, that is non-greed, non-hate, non-delusion, through the three doors: body, speech, and mind, and not luck. Luck is kind of believing that other people can do it for us, or by relying on something outside us, we will get what we want. Now, number 5 here refers to having faith in the Buddha's teaching. So we work to help ourselves. We do not seek the give-worthy outside the teaching, but gives one's priority here in the teaching. So here we support the good monks, the teachers. We help them so that they can learn the Dhamma, practice the Dhamma, and teach us. That's one meaning. And our first task is to look around, see other Buddhists who are suffering, to help them. So that's the meaning here. Help each other first, and then, of course, you can give food to anyone who's hungry. But when it comes to something like money, which is a very powerful tool, we would like to focus it to benefit the Buddhist community. In other words, so there's so many people in the Buddhist community who need help, who can be better Buddhists and better teachers, and then build up our community so that we can help other communities, even the world. So that's the meaning here. Self-help first, in other words. So this is the teaching on the true layman, the Chandala Sutta, A5.175. So now we come to the last slide. The one who practices all these wonderful things and breaks the 3 fetters, he becomes a Sotapanna, which is a stream winner. And these are the blessings or the benefits of a stream winner. This is on the kind of higher level. The stream winner is sure of the true teachings. You know what the true teaching is, you know what is Dhamma, what is not Dhamma. And then he doesn't fall away from true reality. He doesn't go mad. That's one thing you can be sure. Mad means you take what is unreal to be real, and you have your own very, very private, limited reality. Here he sees true reality. He knows what it is because he understands impermanence and accepts it. Then there is a limit to one's suffering. He may suffer, but there's a limit to it because he does not get attached to things. And some of his good karma will be there to strengthen him. So there's a limit to his suffering. And this stream winner is one who's endowed with uncommon knowledge. So even if you aspire to be a stream winner, you study the suttas, you reflect on impermanence, and you want to learn things, you're very curious about true reality, then you find you discover a lot of new wonderful things. You know things, a lot of good things which others do not know, which are helpful to yourself and to others. This is called uncommon knowledge. Remember, these are what the Buddha says, okay? From the A6.97. One has clearly understood causes. So this stream winner, he knows the nature of causes and effect, how A leads to B. So if you don't do A, you won't get B, and so on. And he is one who has clearly understood phenomena arising from causes. So in other words, what's the effect after that? He knows all that. Okay, so these are benefits of the stream winner. He is a person who understands the nature of life in a very profound way. So do give all this some thought, right? And okay, so I'll end here for the moment. Okay, so let's go into question time here. So do I click share again?
Okay, Piya, that is good.
What do I do?
You already stopped sharing
okay,
the screen.
good. Yes. I'm new at this. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Piya, for your inspiring talk. We have a few questions in the chat box.
Oh, wonderful.
I wonder we should call them by name and ask the question themselves.
If they want to, if they're shy, it's okay. You read for them. I read out their name and ask if they are
Okay. Can we request everybody to turn on their videos so that
Yes.
we have better interaction?
Yeah, that's right. Wonderful. You know, this is the only chance I get to see you, you know, or see an image of you. I'm very happy to be able to connect with you all.
Okay, the
But
first person who asked question is Sister Jeanette. Is it how you pronounce your
yes,
name?
net from Philippines.
Okay, could you please unmute yourself, Sister from Philippines?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, you can
First of
ask.
all, thank you, brother, for
Good.
your teaching.
Yes.
I learned, no? Well,
Mhm.
my first question is, do the six patriarch venerable Huineng
Mhm.
is considered an arhat?
Oh, okay. So answer quite simple. All right. So this is a sixth patriarch. He was a monk in China. I don't know much about him, although I studied something about him long ago and gave a talk. Uh, he's a very humble monk by himself. See? So he lived by himself, and there was nothing big about him. But then another ambitious monk used this story of him and make into a sutra called the Sutra of the Six Patriarchs. You see, but
Yes.
it's not based on history. It's something he created to, in a very competitive religious world, to show that he has some special texts. You see, so this is what modern scholars have discovered. So I wouldn't spend too much time on those kinds of stories because they are more of a Chinese version of local monks, right? So there might be some interesting things you can read by yourself. But here we focus on what's called early Buddhism. Okay, all right, okay.
So I guess if that's after Buddha's parinirvana,
Mhm.
is there a records who became arahat?
Records, I don't know. I don't think so. But we know that there are arahats after Buddha's time too. Upagupta, for example, there's a story of how he actually caught Mara, you know, because this Upagupta is a story from Myanmar. This monk, he was so keen to know how did the Buddha look like, and there's only one person who knows, and that is Upagupta. Okay, and any Burmese Buddhist will know his story. So this Upagupta, he wants to know how the Buddha looks like. He captures Mara, and he won't let go of Mara. He says, I'm not going to let you go until you tell me how the Buddha looks like. Then the Mara says, how am I going to do that? He says, well, you know how Mara looks like. You can assume any form. So you change yourself to look like Buddha. Okay. Then Mara said, okay, I can do that quite easily, but you must promise me one thing. Don't bow down to me because it's not Buddha. It's me, you see. So he told this monk, don't bow down to me because you bow to me, I will die. My head will split into 7 pieces. Okay. So Mara changes himself into the Buddha. And Upagupta, being such a great monk, Arahat, he saw the Buddha and he felt so happy. He bowed down 3 times to this Buddha figure, you see. But the good thing was nothing happened to Mara. Mara actually was terrified. So he shouted to Upagupta and he said, no, don't do that. Don't bow. I'm going to die. But then nothing happens. I said, how come nothing happens? And how come my head didn't split? Then Upagupta looked up at him and smiled. He said, well, because you're not the Buddha. I'm not bowing down to you. I'm bowing down to this, my image, my understanding of the Buddha. Okay. So this reminds me of another occasion. You know, we Buddhists, we often bow down. Even today here, we close our eyes and we bow down. We say Arahang Sama Sambuddha and so on. There's no Buddha in front of us. But when we close our eyes, we bow down, we see the Buddha in front of us. The Buddha is always in front of us. So there was once I was giving a talk to the NUS. So they brought me in a taxi to this old temple. And there are 2 temples very close together. The moment we got out of the taxi, I saw this temple. And I just put my palms together and bowed down. You know? And then this young man, this student tells me, he says, Bhante, I was a monk at that time. He says, Bhante, that's not Buddhist temple, you know, it's a Taoist temple. I said, it's okay. I said, I'm bowing down to the Buddha. I'm not bowing down to the temple. I said, yeah, the temple happens to be there. But wherever I bow to the Buddha. You see, for example, I see a tree, I say, oh, I see Buddha there, and I put my palms together, right? And then one thing I like to do, you know, when we go for holidays, we go to the hotel. In Malaysia, the hotels, you have this arrow, you know, the qiblat, you know, on the roof, on the ceiling, pointing to Mecca. I said, oh, this is wonderful. So the Muslims know where their holy city is. We Buddhists don't have that kind of marker. Well, we can borrow from the Muslims actually, because that arrow also points to Buddha Gaya. That arrow also points to India. So I tell Ratna, I say, hey, come, let's face this way, and we bow down with our palms together. That is the Buddha's holy land, you see? So then, yeah, that's how we, you know, see the Buddha in our own mind, in our own hearts. That's how we practice in our hearts. Okay? All right, next question.
Last question is, as we all know, we tend to listen to a lot of Dharma teacher,
Yes,
and we are learning.
true.
Is it bad karma if we meet teacher posing as Buddhist teacher, that we, you know, we try to listen him
Yes.
for a quite few years, and then later we just found out that it is not as what,
Mm,
yeah, you know what I
very true.
mean.
Yes, yes. Of course, this
It's,
happens. This happens. The Buddha knows this very well. There are suttas which warn us. There is the Ahita Thera Sutta, where the Buddha says, even famous old monks, well-known monks, learned monks, may have wrong views. First thing, right? So it's not your karma; it is this person's karma, right? So don't worry, all right? Unless you follow this person and encourage this person, then it's bad karma. Number two, when you know it's a bad teacher, go away. Unless you can help this teacher, unless you can tell this teacher, why are you doing this? You know that if you are wearing the robe, you're doing all these wrong things, you go to hell even more quickly than anyone else. So why do this, all right? So there are this kind of false teachers everywhere, in every religion. Okay? So go away from them, warn other people, keep your relatives and families and children safe from them. Otherwise, they have wrong ideas about Buddhism, right? And Philippines is such a new country to Buddhism, and many teachers trying to go there. It's not easy to teach, and it's a big struggle. So you have to work hard. My belief is that the Filipinos themselves, the Pinoy themselves, have to get together, study the suttas, study your suttas together, or come for courses. The suttas are available today. We can help you from here. And then from there, you get your teachers over the years. As you study the suttas, you go for your meditation, then you begin to be more confident what being a Buddhist is. The main idea is peace of mind. You have that peace of mind, you feel happy and joyful. You look at others, you feel happy, you want them to be happy. You are a Buddhist. That's how you avoid all these negative teachers. Okay? Thank you for your questions. Wonderful to hear from you. Okay.
Thank you. Next one, we call Sister Rachel
Yes,
to
Rachel.
ask a question.
Yes.
Rachel, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes, we can. Where are you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
So,
Rachel, I can see you. Yes. Okay, very good.
yeah. Hi, Brother Pia. So
Yeah.
my question is, sometimes I'm very busy, but I still feel like I have to meditate, because if I don't do it, I feel like I feel
Missing
different.
something.
Like, yeah, is that a kind of attachment to ritual?
Okay. So how do you overcome this? The attachment, I mean, not the
I make
meditation.
time every day to do it.
Okay.
But even when I'm really busy and I really maybe I should not, you know what I mean? Like, because of that, I can't get my work done, but I still make time to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're asking, what do I think about
Can
it?
it be like a kind of attachment to ritual? Is it a ritual?
Now,
Seems like
there are
it's
so many, you see, you have meditation, sitting meditation, and you have mindfulness. So your problem is not the meditation. Your problem is how you define meditation, how you define mindfulness. There are two aspects. Okay, your intention, your drive is there. The good intention is amazing. That is already really good. See, so tell yourself, my intention is that. This is a powerful thing. In a sense, it's almost as good as your meditation, because given a chance, you will meditate. Is it? So that's the first thought you must have. Next thing is you have to plan your time, work, etc., so that you have that time sacred to you for your meditation somehow. If not every day, maybe towards the weekend, there's a time when you could sit. No, I have friends, in London, student. He gets up in the morning and tells me he meditates for 2 hours every morning. I say, I don't know how you do it, but it's amazing. He could do it. And then he became a lawyer later on. So he shows this determination. And it's all past karma. They've done this before. So now they're doing it again and they're enjoying it. So number two, arrange your time, priorities, things like that. Right? Things you don't need to do, you don't do. See, right? So and we often waste time there with people.
The problem is I'm doing a degree at the moment, and
Yeah.
if I give time to the meditation over time that I could be spent researching or writing, then
Okay.
if I don't get a very good grade, or if I can't catch up with my reading, I feel like,
Right.
yeah, that's because I,
Now,
so.
on the other hand, when you meditate, you find that helps in your study, right? I mean,
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So you time yourself in such a way that it will help you to somehow flow into your study also. So they help each other. So don't feel that it is actually in the way of your study. That's another thing you should not do. You should not feel that it's in the way of your study. In fact, you can ask yourself, is it affecting my study in a negative way in any way? If it is, okay, what is it that is affecting it? Deal with that, not the meditation. Maybe, okay, today I'll spend a little less time with meditation, but more of my work because there is this urgent thing like that. So there is negotiation. That's the third thing, negotiation. All right. There's nothing wrong if you do not meditate. Don't have this idea that I must do so many hours a day. Meditate.
But I feel better if I do more though.
Then deal with that feeling. Take that as your meditation. This is just a feeling. I'm letting go of the feeling. That's your meditation.
Okay.
See, you have to do mindfulness practice there, because if you don't, then you have missed that part of your meditation. My point, this is the next point. There are many aspects of meditation you must deal with, not just sitting meditation. Meditation must flow into your daily life also, even when you're studying. My meditation goes into my work. When I translate, and I feel so happy, and I look at the screen. Those letters are so beautiful, I don't think it's just MS Word, I mean, it's the way we look at it, Some people will say, oh no, all these words, So it has got to go into your life, daily life. There's no demarcation between your mindfulness and your daily life, so to speak, unless you are not mindful.
But what if I like the secluded feeling I get when I'm meditating? I can't get that in my daily life because my house is just full of people.
Keep that in mind. You keep that in mind, and then the time will come. Then you charge yourself the memory of that idea. You close yourself wherever you are in your crowded home. That little space around you keeps you secluded. The Buddha says someone can go in the forest, but this person's mind is filled with negative emotions, great hatred, delusion. He's still living a crowded life in the forest, see? So you can live in a crowded house, but your mind is calm, you are secluded. So seclusion is not a place, it's a state of mind. Okay? Right. So, I mean, it's amazing. You're doing something which not many people are able to do. So keep it going that way. Just put in some wisdom into it. And then see your positive actions in a new light. Be kinder to yourself. Show yourself loving kindness. And then, look at all these wonderful things you're doing in new light. Okay?
Okay.
All right, good. Right, next, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard, for your question.
I'm happy to see you. Okay. Right,
I
next.
don't
Okay.
normally like to come on video, sorry.
No, I'm happy to see you. Yes.
Okay, next one we have Sawan Kumar.
Yes, on.
Please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Hello, Piya Tan.
Hello, hello. Yes, on.
I have two questions. First question is it's related to stream winner.
Well, do you have a video?
My video, yeah.
Okay. Turn video on, please. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Is stream winner, does stream winner breaks precepts sometimes?
Oh, yes, they may, but not deliberately. Not deliberately. Sometimes they are forced to do it. Sometimes they might be unmindful. But the moment they break it, they will know. And then they will say, wow, okay, why did I do this? So they're aware of it and they will somehow correct it, reflect on it, why, deal with remember the causes, they look at the causes and why they do this. So they know what's going on. And this gives us a very important idea of the precepts. A lot of people have the wrong idea. Oh, I've broken the precept, and they feel so negative about it. And that's not what the precepts are meant to be. The Buddha gave us 5 precepts because these are 5 very important things for us to practice. And there are also 5 very difficult things because we often break those rules, right? So when we do break any precept, we got to spend time and look back and ask ourselves, why did I break the precept? What caused me to break the precept? So you examine that way and then keep asking yourself, how do I cut down? How do I prevent this from happening again? That's what it's about. It is a quality control thing. The precept are telling you if you can reduce these 5 things, and the quality of your life will become better. It is something to help you stock take your life also. In other words. Okay. All right.
I have another question.
Okay.
How to practice both Anikya, Impermanence, and Anata together in life?
Okay. All right.
Anata is
Yes, you can if you want, but Anicca, impermanence is easier. Anata is a little bit more difficult, but possible. So, what is your question?
so. Is it like how do we need to practice together?
Oh, no. You don't have to. It's not that you must practice together. Make it natural. The easiest, of course, is impermanence. But then as you reflect on impermanence, for example, let's say you look at the flower, you say, oh, this flower is beautiful. And next day you come along, you say, oh, look at it, it is wilting away now. And then the flower dies. Then you ask yourself, where's the flower gone? Then there's another flower. So how is this flower? You see a rose, and then you see another rose. You say, I can't say it's the same rose, and yet it's not a different rose because we call it a rose. So you find that they're not the same thing, and yet they're the same thing. So there is this kind of duality. So that's a kind of reflection on impermanence, on non-self. My favorite non-self practice is to sit by a very calm lake and then just sit there quietly and watch. You watch long enough, you will see a leaf or something small fall into the water in front of you. And then, or sometimes someone may throw a little stone into the water, and then you see this circle emanating towards you. I think you all have seen that, right? And the circle, the waves, they move towards you, and they disappear in front of you. They seem to disappear into the shore. So the waves come from the center and then moves. The circle becomes bigger and bigger, and then it disappears. And yet you look carefully. You think that something is moving. You think the water is moving. Actually, the water is not moving. It's just the water is going up and down, right? The
Yes.
wave is just water up and down. So something is moving yet not moving. It's how you perceive it. And that's another way of looking at non-self. That this thing you call wave, this thing that is moving is just what you perceive. So these are ways of looking deep into nature and seeing impermanence, seeing non-self in a natural way. Keep it natural. Don't make it a ritual. Don't force it onto yourself. So don't turn it a ritual, remember. Eh? Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, next.
Okay, that's all the questions
that's
we
all. Okay.
have. Unless
Right.
there's anybody has question.
All right, we open to the
Can
floor
I
now.
ask one?
Sure. Yes,
Teacher
Pamuja.
Piya?
Yes, yes, Pamuja.
So
Yes.
since you're on the subject of talking about paying respect to the Buddha, and then sometimes you pass by the statue of Buddha. So, so do we pay respect or we don't pay respect?
It's up to you. It's up to you. No, I'm not too keen on Buddha images because they don't look like the Buddha. The Buddha looks better than those images. You know what I mean, right? I've not seen a single Buddha image that actually looks like the Buddha because we don't exactly know how the Buddha looks like.
Yeah.
So you don't have to put your palms together, but you can look at that stone or metal or whatever material, and then you tell yourself, okay, this is what it is. 4 elements. You reflect on the 4 elements, for example. You are respecting the Buddha by practicing the Dhamma. So that's another way. Of course, if you find there's a very wonderful opportunity, you put your palms together, that's fine too. So it's up to you. Okay? So make it natural. But you understand what is it you're doing? What is it that's in front of you here? Okay?
The respect.
Yes, correct. Respect the Buddha inside you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Pamuja. We have Sister Gexiu.
Yes.
Raise
yes.
her hand. Sister
Yes.
Gexiu, please unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Piya, for the explanation of So I just want to ask because I've heard talks about stream winner being classified into diligent and non-diligent type.
Oh, diligent and non-diligent.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Explain a little bit.
Do you know the Pali word? Is there a Pali word for this?
No, I don't know. It was just true.
Oh, okay. No, I've not heard of this, but it sounds interesting. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it makes sense because there are stream winners who don't make an effort to continue. And the Buddha is often telling them, say, there's something more to do. Okay, uttari, something more to do. That means you go on, overcome the 3 unwholesome roots, attain one's return, even attain arahathood. So the Buddha is always encouraging people on the path, these noble ones on the path, to proceed until arahathood. Then there is nothing to be done. I suppose in that sense we can say diligent and undiligent. Yeah, that's my understanding. Okay. So the first thing now we should do is aspire to be stream winners first. That's the important thing. Then after that, you deal with it. Okay, see what comes next. Okay. So if you are diligent, that's wonderful. Even if you're not diligent, that's fine too. You just go through many more, 7 more lives at the most anyway. Okay? But some of the lives can be very long. For example, if you are born as in the formless realm, wow, and many world cycles. That's quite a lot of lives, right? Okay. Okay. Yes. So that's a bit speculative anyway. So I think I'll stop there.
Can I just ask?
Yeah, sure, please.
Yeah, so there are, I mean, the last sutta that you talked about, the Sotapanna, the 6 benefits. So there are some who say that a stream winner is impeccable in his or her sila, is that right? But they still, they will occasionally break precept because they are unintentional, or they need to do more.
Yeah, not through their fault, but they quickly, they make redress, they correct it. So I mean, there will be trouble. There is restlessness. You say, oh no, so restlessness still there, right? Remember one of the fetters. So in other words, even a stream winner can feel very sad, like say when the Buddha passes away, but he is calmly sad. Okay? I mean, he feels for people who are suffering. Right? So a stream winner is a very wonderful happy person, but he also is able to connect with people in a healthy way. So, but he will not consciously break the precept. Okay. All right. Anything else?
And there's this before the Sotapanna, I think there's another two disciples where people usually also say, is it the faith follower and the wisdom follower?
Oh, okay.
Does that
Yeah,
mean
yeah. Yes.
the lifetime that they do not
Hmm.
attain, the next lifetime they would be, or
I don't know about the time, but this is mentioned in the Anikya Chakku Sutta. Two kinds of, the faith follower and the, what's the other one? The Dhamma follower. Yeah. The Dhamma follower is one who uses his wisdom to reflect on impermanence, and it becomes a stream. Okay. The other one is faith. He accepts the fact there is impermanence. He says, "Oh, I'm happy enough to accept the Buddha's teaching on impermanence," and it becomes a stream. So you have two. In each of these, their faculty. That faculty is strong. So in the Dhamma follower, the truth follower or Dhamma follower, Dhammanusari, the wisdom is strong. Wisdom faculty, Panyindriya. Okay. And the other one, this faith follower, Sadanusari, his faith is strong, faith faculty. Yeah, so it depends on faith faculty. So it becomes criminal on that account. You can read up the details in the SD 16.7. 16.7. Anicca Chakku Sutta. It's all mentioned there. The notes are also there. Okay?
do I understand that these two followers, they would kind of attain the path at the time of death? Is that what I understand, or is not correct?
The sutta says they will attain any time in their lifetime, if not certainly at the point of passing away. The last thought moment will bring them to stream. That's what my understanding of the sutta, SD 25.1. You go to Samyutta Nikaya, chapter 25. There are 10 suttas there. All the 10 suttas teach the same thing, only the subject of meditation is different. S25. Okay. All right. Any other question?
I think it's time already.
Oh, okay. Well, if there are urgent questions, please, you can still ask. No? Otherwise, we'll end this session, and we're happy to be able to talk to you today. And I hope you enjoy the slides. No? So, okay. So it looks like we can end here. No?
Okay, can we take a picture first?
All right.
before we
So
end?
video's on again. All right, smile. If you like, you can put your palms together.
Brother Wee, can you turn on your video?
Okay.
Katrina, you got
Okay.
video?
Yeah.
Okay,
Some-
that's good. Brother Wee, one more time.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
All right. Oh,
Okay.
disappear
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Sometimes the connection. Yeah. Okay,
All
that's
right.
good. Okay. It's good to see so many old friends. We're happy to see you.
Okay, smile.
Okay.
1,
Smile.
2, 3. I cannot see you properly, a little boy there.
Where's the? Okay.
Okay, that's
All right,
good.
Sumita. All right, wonderful. Yes, that's my grandchild. Adopted grandchild. Adopted grandchild.
Okay.
Cyber
Yes,
grandchild. Yes, I'll do so.
1, 2, 3. Smile. Cheese. Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right.
thank you.
So blessings
Thank
to
you.
all. See you all.
Oh, wait. We need to do the closing puja.
Yes, we do
Yeah.
closing puja and information on the next sutta. Huh? Or maybe I just talk a bit about
Okay.
the next
Sorry,
sutta.
sorry.
All right.
All right.
Coming on the 28th of March is BMM 2021-3. I'll be talking about feelings. There'll be some more slides. I like the slides. It's so, it makes it so easy to talk, to see. So what are feelings? How do we feel? Do our hearts feel? So these are big questions, all right? All right, then remember 28th March, Sunday in the morning, 10 a.m. And then there are other times, this is meant for, especially people in America, California, Chile, Sydney, Perth. All right? So make a note, 4th Sunday, 28th March, 10 a.m. Singapore time. Next one, advertisement. Okay, then we have TP2021 number 4. This is 3rd April. And this is continuing where we left off. We're going to talk more about right view and right intention, how they work. Okay? What are the kinds of right view, and what is meant by right intention, and the different meanings of intention, and so on. Okay, so this is 8 p.m. again on 3rd of April. Okay, so let us close our. Now, before we close it, let's have a kind of reflection on this very beautiful moment. The fact that we all are gathered together in peace in the Dhamma. We have done a lot of wonderful things together in the past. Even COVID-19 cannot keep us away. We are connected through this wonderful link to Zoom, to cyberspace. We all are in some level of good health, presence of mind, that we're able to sit together, to listen to the Dhamma. All these are wonderful things to celebrate, to remember. We have recited the precepts, we have meditated, listened to the sutras, to the Dhamma. So with that, we show our gratitude to the Buddha, to the Dhamma, to the Sangha, by bowing down 3 times. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivadeni. Bow down. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namassami. Bow down. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Bow down. Okay, may all be well and happy. So good to see you all again.
Lots of thanks to Teacher Piya and Ratna. Thank
Yes.
you so much.